Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping Into Happiness. We are your hosts. I am Rachel.
And I'm Maggie.
So I'm telling you, every single week when our countdown starts, it's different. Like this week, it was 5, 3, 2. I don't know. I don't know why that bothers me so much. Like it doesn't do the countdown properly.
I saw 4, 3, 2, 1 on my end. I saw no 5. So, I don't
See?
know. I'm just
So weird.
ready to go by 1.
I know. Well, I want to start this episode, though. I want to apologize. So, y'all, I've told you guys that I got a new job. A couple of you have even reached out privately to ask me what I'm doing. I will announce it today. But y'all, I have been getting these episodes out by the skin of my teeth. I have been so busy in a really wonderful, beautiful way. But I don't want to not get our episodes out. But I feel so bad. I'm not getting out like our weekly teasers. Really, I haven't done I don't think this last week I did a blog post for it. I'm so overwhelmed. So I'm wanting to make sure to at least get the content out to you guys. So should there not be all the little fun extras, I'm really doing my best to still get you guys the content. So, because I mean, even this last week, like somebody even told us, like, I really needed to hear you guys' voices today. And I'm like, seeing that's why we do it. We love being a part of your journey. But man, Rachel's been busy. Woo! So I'll officially tell you guys where I'm working now. I've done my onboarding and everything. I've even gotten my cute little swag from the company. So I now work for a company called Charlie Health. And we are an organization that really focuses on mental health for adolescents and young adults. I kind of pull back from saying teens because we can treat children as young as 11. So it's an absolutely beautiful program. It's all done virtually and it's cultivated so they can be in a room in a group with others who are just like them, because that might be somebody, like Maggie and I are very similar, but I'm in California and she's in Florida. We would be in the same group kind of thing. So that would not be able to happen in person. So it's a beautiful program. I absolutely adore them. I've shared some of their stuff on our Instagram before, I want to say, and it's a lot of mental health stuff. So it fills my cup just like WW did. So I love being able to give back to the community and to help youngins who are struggling, because I know the struggle and I've seen it, I've felt it. And so I want to do what I can to help them get through that in those really tough times. So that's what I'm doing. Maggie, do you have any announcements other than it's your birthday week?
Yay!
Yay!
No, but just in case there are any new listeners, since, Rachel shared a bit about her current career path, for anyone that doesn't know, I teach full-time chorus and theater at the high school level at actually the oldest school, public high school in the state of Florida, which is like totally wild to think about.
Yeah.
But I also have a job with my church choir, and then I also I'm the assistant JV coach for our cheer team.
I love that.
So this summer, I should, typically teachers take off for the summer, but I've been working pretty much every day 9 to 4 between rehearsing the summer musical, we're doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then practicing for cheer. So it's been a little bit busy, but yeah, that's my work outside of the podcast for anyone who might not have caught that in another episode.
But see, I think that's like for both of us, that's a really great segue into our conversation for this week. So this week's topic. I mean, I feel like Maggie and I really do kind of pride ourselves on being very transparent with you guys. If we're having a struggle, we tell you guys. If we're having a win, we share it with you guys. So this week, we're just literally going to discuss what we are currently struggling with. Does that mean we're just focusing on the negative? No. In my opinion, I like to just kind of get it out in the air, talk it out, see how I can move past it. So, this week's episode is called "The Struggle Is Real," because no matter how good you think someone else is doing, I promise you there are struggles. Even Bob Harper, Jillian Michaels, like all of these amazing athletes, they're going to go through struggles. We see the end product all the time and we're like, oh my gosh, they're doing amazing. There's always going to be a struggle. I promise you. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. So this week's topic, the struggle is real. I feel like we both kind of touched on that just a little bit with how just overwhelming and nonstop, I guess, our schedules can be. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to go first, Maggie, or like, do you have a struggle you want to talk out?
Yeah, sure. And it's funny because I have a hard time opening up on social media about what may or may not be struggling with because for a few different reasons. One, I don't like unsolicited advice. It just really sends me through the roof. Like,
Yeah.
when you just want to vent and then you start getting advice and you're like, no, that's not I just wanted to get it
Yeah.
off my chest, right? So that's one
Yeah.
reason I have a hard time with it. Another reason is I never want to discourage anyone because there could be somewhere out there that's like, gosh, I really wish I was in Maggie's shoes, and it's like frustrating to see her be unhappy with what she's dealing, what is going on in her life, right? So that's one thing, is like I never want to make anyone else feel bad for what I am going
Yeah.
through. And then I also don't like to speak my struggle into existence. The way we identify can affect the way that we show up in the world. So if I tell myself, like, I'm struggling, then I feel like it's so hard to break the cycle. So on the flip side, though, it is helpful to talk through things. So I actually just posted a reel about this today, having not, at the time, I had not prepped for this podcast, but so if, in case for, folks don't know my full journey, basically I've been overweight my entire life. I was 200 pounds by the time I was 13. I was 250 pounds by the time I was 16. And then for the following decade, I fluctuated between 275 and 290 pounds on a 5'4" build. So I was an unhealthy individual for quite some time. And I started WW in February of 2020, and then I lost 100 pounds in exactly a year. And then I maintained that weight for about a year. And then in this third year of my journey, I have struggled, particularly with the food pillar and being consistent with that. And the way that that has shown up is that I've gained about 20 to 25 pounds from my lowest weight. And I would definitely say that the food pillar is where my struggle manifests. But if you really look at it at the bigger picture, the struggle is happening in the mindset. So I've been actually reflecting a lot on that. And this is also why I don't always open up about my struggle, because I really want to reflect and think through, like, what is the root of it, right? Before I kind of open up about it. So what I think the root is of my struggle and why it's been hard for me to continue to lose weight is that I don't have a very relevant why. And we've talked about that before. My why when I first started was I really wanted to feel like an athlete, but I was coming in last place in half marathons. I was having a hard time getting off the couch. I felt my knees just cracking and popping like every time I would move. I didn't have a lot of energy. I just felt sad all the time. I wanted to go through the drive-through for every single meal. Like, I was fighting it, like, to be a positive person, because overall that's my disposition. But, like, on the flip side, I was just so low energy and just wasn't living the life that I was envisioning for myself. So then, and I couldn't ride roller coasters, had to get seatbelt extenders, like all of these things. So I was like fed up. And that motivated me and fueled me for a long time. But now, where I'm at, even 20 pounds heavier than my lowest, I still don't need a seatbelt extender by a long shot. I still don't. I can still ride rides. I can still fit comfortably in theater seats. Like, I don't stress about furniture or anything like that like I used to. So I'm like, what is motivating me to lose the next X amount of pounds other than vanity, right? Like, oh, I want to look a certain way. Because then I think, oh, if I look, okay, what do I want to quote unquote look like? Smaller or leaner or what have you. Well, I'm still going to have loose skin. I'm still going to have parts of me that aren't like standard or what have you. So then I'm like, what is it? Like, why? And that's never the vanity part of it, just, or like the wanting to look a certain way has never motivated me, or I would have I would have changed my life in high school. It's just like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
what is the why? Like, and that's my struggle right now. It's manifesting in the food pillar, but really the struggle is like, why do I want to lose more weight? Because right
Mhm.
now I feel like like so much better compared to how I did when I first started my journey.
Yeah.
And so part of me, rather than feeling shame or beating myself up about the 20 pounds, it's like I'm celebrating, okay, I am a 4-time marathoner. I am a dopey challenge finisher. I literally ran a mile at cheer practice and beat some of the 14 and 15-year-old girls. Like,
I love that.
I've been stunting with them all week in practice, lifting them up, overhead and hanging with them for 3-hour long stretches, multiple days in a row, and then hitting the gym for myself and running and doing all. And so I'm like, 15, 16-year-old Maggie could never,
Mhm.
wasn't imagining, And so part of me is like, girl, you lived your life one way for over 10 years. Like, it's going to take some time. And
Yeah.
you're just, like, you're kind of in a slump right now, trying to figure out what's going to keep me moving forward. Or, really, because it's funny, like, how do we define success? Is it based off of X amount of pounds lost and X amount of pounds maintained, or is it like all of the other things? And so for a long
Yeah.
time, my identity was Maggie, the successful Weight Watcher who had lost a significant amount of weight. Like, that was who I was, the transformation of Maggie. And now
Mhm.
I feel like that is almost suffocating me. So it's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just, I have to figure out and like,
What the
I
transition
don't,
is. Yeah.
right. And so I compartmentalize a lot of that. I don't think about it every moment of every day, but it is there. It
Mhm.
is like, a part of it. So I think that is, long story short,
Yeah.
what I'm struggling with right now.
Well,
Yay.
no, you know what I think is so, like, one of the things I love about us and our dynamic is how we can both be looking at something so differently. So, like, you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I don't really like to talk. I don't always like to talk my struggles out because I like to, you prefer to speak things into existence. You're like, I
Hmm.
am an athlete. I am these things. So you don't like to look at the negative, like the struggles a lot. See, and I'm that person who I'm like, I want to write down, what am I struggling with? What is getting in my way right now of me being successful? Because if I can figure out what it is, I can figure out an answer for it. So it doesn't define me, but it helps me define it, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like, I like to be able to see it and make it tangible. So I'm like, cool, if I know this is the problem, I can figure out a way to fix that. So I know Maggie did a little brief kind of recap of her journey. So January 2020, signed up with WW. I was very athletic in high school. I put on like 50 pounds though right out of high school, and then I ended up going to my highest mid 30s, I want to say. But I lost over 100 pounds with WW. It took about 14 months. I was able to maintain that for a year. Was so excited about that. And then after that year, just like Maggie, going in within my third year, feeling a struggle. And I can almost pinpoint exactly why and when my struggle happened. When my schedule changed, I had a great schedule. I had great habits built, and for some reason, if I'm not solid in those things, a change of schedule can just like topples my deck of cards. Like, I had my deck of cards so well placed, but when one card shifted, it all came down. And it's been like almost a continual shift for the last year and a half. And so in the last year and a half, I'm going to be very transparent. I've put on 50 pounds of the 101 pounds that I lost. I'm it's holding solid right there. Like, I weigh myself once a week, and I am staying really solid right there. So it's not like I went like, woo woo, let's just eat all the things again. But some of my bad habits had come back, and my healthy habits of my activity have gone down. So, I mean, we were talking about this the other like 3 weeks ago with the this or that episode. Like, there are some things that I will not give up. There are some habits that I refuse to let go of. So I don't feel like I'm out of the game. I truly don't. Um, so that's kind of my struggle right now. It's kind of the same with Meg. Yeah, it's my food pillar. So remember, for those who maybe are not WW members, fans, lingo, our 4 pillars. So things that we focus on for overall wellness is food, our activity, our sleep, and our mindset. I feel like my mindset is still right there, baby. I got this. I know I have great support. I mean, just talking with you every week, Maggie, gives me that accountability. I love it. Awesome. I think that was one of my, remember my NSVs was my sleep schedule is still awesome. I still have such a great sleep schedule. I get like 7.5 hours, like almost every single night, and I'm getting good quality sleep. My activity, not so much. My food, like if I was to like grade myself like 1 out of 100, 100 being like boom, 100, like I don't even think there's anybody on the planet who's actually at 100, but you know what I mean. But 1 out of 100 on how well I'm doing on my food pillar, I'm probably at about 60%. Like I said, certain habits I refuse to get rid of, certain things I refuse to do. I mean, look at, I have my water right here. I literally chug this every single day.
Me too.
But there's just, I don't know what it is right now. And like I said, I know it was with the schedule with here, and I literally had 4 jobs for a long time, 3 jobs for a good amount of time after that. But going to Charlie Health, I was like, that's it. I left all of the other side gigs. I'm like, I want this to be my main focus. I want to make a difference in young people's lives. And you know what, Maggie? I was so happy. So first week of training, we were having a group meeting on like a Monday, and they were like, all right, you guys, let's set our intentions for the week. How are we going to feel this week? What are we going to accomplish? And in my group, personally, my Southern California team, the first intention our boss wants us to list out is how are we going to take care of ourselves this week? And I'm like, that's amazing. I've never worked for a company that's like, how are you sleeping? Maybe you should try yoga. Do you want to do some meditation? Like, she even had us all do breathing, like before we started the meeting, like just take our deep breaths. Like, we're going to set our intentions for the week. And I was like, y'all, I love this mindset. This company even gives me a monthly stipend to do things for myself. So I'm so up in the air with this right now. I have a Pilates studio within a mile of me and an Orange Theory within a mile of me. And I'm debating. I don't know which one I want to do yet. So I think I'm going to go Pilates route. I just think it'd be super fun, and it's more my jam. But I love that. And so I want to turn that focus a little more onto myself first thing in the morning. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at to change, to alter. Like, my husband and I went to the store yesterday because now that I'm home so often too, because my office, I'm in my office right now. Like, this is where I work out of now. I have bananas within arm's reach. I have my water within arm's reach. I have yogurts in the fridge. So when I want to get up and snackaroo, I'm getting back to that. Let's fill my cup with healthy habits that you can't move away from. Does that make sense? Like, you're just setting yourself up for the success kind of thing. I wasn't for a long time, and I don't know why. So I'm getting back into that headspace of setting up my entire environment, my controlled environment. I was just telling that to somebody today too, one of our listeners, the one who was saying, oh, I needed to hear you guys today, I'm having a struggle. I was like, all right, well, tell me one thing that you have control over right now. Like, what is one thing that we can control in this moment right now? Because I feel like that's kind of what I bring it back to also when I'm struggling. I'm like, okay, of all the things, what am I feeling? How am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? And let's make a focus. I don't like a sense of chaos, which is funny because I kid you not, like, my office, I think I showed Maggie the other day, I have like my whole wall in my office is covered with stuff, but my desk is extremely organized. When it comes to my work itself, I like a very non-chaotic workspace with a lot of creativity around it.
Yeah.
So I need to, I want to do that again but when it comes to my food pillar and my activity pillar. So I feel like I'm going to focus on my food pillar first, though, because when I first joined WW, the first 6 months, I didn't even contemplate activity. Nope. I solely focused on my food. And I want to get back to what worked for me. So I need to do that. I need to find those healthy habits. I need to find those things that work for me. Because even recently at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, I want something sweet. And I kept grabbing chocolate. No, I don't. I mean, that's what I was craving, and I don't know why, because I'm getting plenty of sleep. But so today I intentionally about that time went and I got a yogurt. And just in case anybody asks, I know somebody probably will be like, what yogurt do you grab? I got my the Dannon Light and Fit. That's one of my favorites. It's 2 points. And so I had one of those with some water, and I feel good. I didn't crave my chocolate. So I think it's just like that little afternoon, it just needs to be sweet kind of thing. So that's one of the things I'm going to alter this week when it comes to my food pillar. So, whew, I know. Felt good to get out.
Yeah. I think I totally support your idea of just like focusing on the food pillar, because that's what I was thinking about as well. I went on my walk today. That's when I was doing like a lot of my reflection and thinking, and I thought, I do a lot of activity, and I've always said this, you cannot outrun your fork. And I'm not trying to, like, because I know that in my heart. I mean, I've lived it, breathed it. That's been my life. And so I'm very honest with myself. I just love, like, going to the gym. I love running, and I have to be active as a cheer coach. So that's kind of non-negotiable. And so, but I think I'm just doing too many different things. And I think I should allow myself the opportunity to be like, hey, Maggie, like, for this season of life, if you just focus on going on walks and going to group class like 2 or 3 times a week, in addition to your cheer coaching or what have you, like, that's okay. Or, you don't have to do all of the things, because I think part of it is like, I'm a competitive person. I'm very motivated by that stuff. So and I have FOMO, we've talked about FOMO before. But like, if I don't go to group class, I'm like, oh, I'm going to miss my friends that I know I would see at the 4:30 class, or, just things, or like, if I don't sign up for this race, I'm going to be sad that I missed the race or whatever. But it does take a lot of mental capacity to plan food every week, to pick out recipes, to make recipes, to do the grocery shopping, to have the staples nearby prepped and right. It just takes a lot of effort. I think we undervalue or like undermine the amount of like mental energy it takes. So, and on top of that, when you have like very emotional, I don't know if I can think of the right word. Like, our jobs are very giving and very can be very emotional. You don't realize the toll that takes, and then the capacity that you have left to then spend it on all of those things I mentioned when it comes to food. So I have been toying around with the idea of like just taking several steps back from the amount of activity that I do, and really taking a lot of that energy into the food. But all of that has to start with me of like, what's the why? Like, what is going to get me excited besides like, oh, I'm going to wear smaller clothes? Because for some reason it's not enough. And maybe there's someone out there listening to me that can relate. Like, obviously it's not enough, or like, we would have done it. So,
because I mean, you look super cute in everything you wear. So you know what I mean? Like, it don't matter like what size you are. You're adorable anyway.
Like, not to sound narcissistic or whatever the word would be, but like, I've always felt generally confident, or I've had moments. Everyone does, but like, I've take ownership of like my style and my smile and like the energy that I bring and what have you. So it doesn't, like, my health journey has never come from a place of shame. It's come from a place of like, I love life and I want to live life fully. So right now, like, I feel like I'm getting a lot out of life. So I'm like, well, I guess I just have to get curious, like, how much different could it be 40 pounds less than I am now? Like, what? I mean, I know that my activity could only feel even better. Maybe instead of 4th place, like, I'd be coming in 2nd. I don't know. Like, I gotta get curious about it, but that's what I want to spend some time doing. Like, and another thing too, Rachel, is like, I have this big vacation coming up that I'm very excited about. And I really want to go into it and just have fun and not stress so much about what the scale is going to say when I get home. Like, I hate that for a lot of us we say like non-scale victories and like, focus on the things that are going well or whatever. But like, at the end of the day, like, if we want to lose weight and we're not losing weight, or we've gained weight, like, it's frustrating. And if we let ourselves sit in that, then it can really like take away so much joy. And I just really want to have so much fun, not only on my vacation, but just this whole summer, just in life. Like I just don't want that to distract me or bring me down. So maybe I have
As
to
you were
use that as
describing that,
fuel.
I was visualizing Inside Out with joy and sadness, like sitting side by
Yeah.
side. And you're like, no more joy. Like I could see her like storming off in sadness, but just being like, just sitting there.
Yeah.
Love
It's
that
true.
movie.
Like there is joy and sadness. That's just a part of life
That's
and
what I
definitely
loved
a
about
part
that
of a
movie.
weight loss
Mm-hmm.
journey. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Pixar movies for
Oh,
sure.
I love it.
But
yeah,
like I just want to go and have fun and like celebrate what's going well, and especially leading into my 30th birthday. That's a big milestone, and like I put this in the caption of the reel I posted today, the day we're recording. Like, I wonder if I went back and told Maggie, who is 16 years old, like, hey, girl, like, before you're 30, you're going to be a 4 full-time marathoner. You're going to be a dopey challenge finisher. You're going to compete, like, with other athletes in competitions, and you're going to hold your own. And heck, girl, you're going to be able to run a mile. And you're, going to be able to shop. You won't have to shop at the specialty stores. And, like, all of those things. Would she have been, like, oh, but like how much do you weigh? Or how much weight did you lose? Like, would that be her response? I doubt that would be her response. Like, she would be like, oh my gosh, girl, that's so cool. Like, no way, And so I really have to remind myself of the big picture, number one. Like, when you're struggling, like, look at the big picture. Like, what have you accomplished? What are you doing well? You do have to focus on the positive. Like, if you focus on the struggle without either A, coming up with a game plan, or B, looking at the positive, or both, like, it's not going to get you anywhere. But if you look at the struggle, like Rachel said about getting curious, like, what is it that's getting in my way? What can I do differently? And how can I celebrate the ways that I am showing up for ourselves? Then we will move forward, like, in our due time. And it just takes time. Like, these things do not happen overnight. And what I have to do too is release the expectations that I think other people are putting onto me. Like, I have no evidence, like I have no evidence. But I just assume that like all these people are like watching me like, is Maggie gonna lose weight this week?
Yeah, why did she
is
do
Maggie
that?
gonna
Why
hit
did she do this?
Right. And I think part of that is my fault in that I shared so much of the details of like what I weighed every day. Like, I posted my daily weigh-in every day for like 6 months or more.
Really?
And then
wow.
yes, this was like during the thick of my weight loss. Like, I was sharing my exact weigh-in every single day with people. And at the time I was like, I'm normalizing weight fluctuations and all of that. But like at the same time, people were watching and waiting for me to hit Wonderland and waiting for me to hit 100 pounds down. And it was like, and then I think so part of me, honestly, Rachel, like, I would want to see if I could take a month, 2 months off of social media and see if I could just live my life and do the thing and come back and be like, all right, here we go. Like, because I do waste a lot of time. Yeah, I waste a lot of time and mental energy on social media also. So that's probably a part of what's affecting like everything. Like everything kind of ties in.
You could even put a post that just says like coming back in, whatever time frame, and then just not deactivate it, just take the app off your phone.
Yeah,
so
like I kind of just want
there, but no access to it.
Yeah, I kind of want to see like if I can even do it, because I do also just have like an addiction to the phone.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, I feel like that could be life-changing in a way, but it's also, when you have brand deals and this and that, you kind of have to like plan it and communicate about it. But I do think that's on the horizon for me, is at least maybe not 2 months, but like a month or 2 weeks or something where I just like take a break and check out.
It'll feel really good.
Yeah, it's just because the more mental space you can clear up to focus on you and focus on the things that make you feel good, the easier it will be to execute those things.
Oh yeah,
when you're firing off of a million cylinders at once, it's just it's too much.
Very cool. Well,
that's where we're at.
This was a good conversation. I know. I feel like this was good though. This was good to talk it out. It was good. Like I said, I try to be as transparent as I can with everybody, and I want others to know that having struggles is very real. Nobody is perfect. Everyone's going to see a high. Everyone's going to feel like they're not great at something, or I should be doing better. We all have the feels, and it's just what it is.
It's normal. You're not alone.
Yes, we can attack it. We can have a game plan. We can keep moving forward, and we can celebrate all of the other things. So, time for goals and recommendations. I want to say mine before I forget it because I didn't write it down. So now that I've been working from home, and like as Maggie was saying, mental capacity, right? I am usually nonstop. Like I am going. Another thing I do love about my company is they've even told us, like, you guys put your lunch on your calendar, put a break on your calendar. So you will literally, essentially making an appointment with ourselves. So every so often I get up and I just go outside, and I walk around for like 5 minutes just to get a breath of fresh air. But I really enjoy doing that. And I might even literally schedule it into my day and call it my brain break, and just walk out of the house and away from the computer and not take my phone, and just take like a 15 outside. So that's going to be my goal this week. I'm going to do that at least 3 times. So probably Monday, Thursday, Friday, because this next week I'm going to be traveling with my work. I get to go to San Diego for a couple days. I'm going to go to the OC, and then in August we're going to Austin, Texas. Like, having so much fun. So so my recommendation is kind of along that same line. Like when we talk about activity, when we talk about taking a moment for yourself, that could be 5 minutes. If you're like, oh, I'm just so busy, I'm so overwhelmed, take 5. No joke. Take 5. Walk away. Go to a bedroom with the lights off and lay down with your eyes closed. You can get on YouTube and find literally 5-minute workouts. My mom, I don't know, I've told her this for years. She just discovered the chair workouts that you can do sitting from a chair. Scoot back from your desk. Do 5 minutes worth of those. Take 5 this week, guys. For your brain, for yourself. Walk away. Take a minute. So that's my recommendation. So on to Maggie. What would you say your goal and recommendation is for this week?
My goal is to celebrate and have fun for my birthday. I would love to just be in a spirit of gratitude and excitement and joy about what I've accomplished in 30 years on this earth. And my intention, let me think here. I think I already said that, didn't I? That's my goal. My intention within that too is to wow, words are hard. My intention within that, though, in light of what we've been discussing, is to look at how I can tailor back different aspects of my life so I have more mental capacity for preparing my food pillar and also figuring out my why. That would be great. So I guess I have a lot of different goals. Should probably tailor that back. Whatever.
I see a theme.
My recommendation is to check in with your why and spend time with that, especially if you are struggling. It might be because your why is not relevant enough to light the fire that it might take to get other things rolling in your journey. So check in with the why, y'all.
I love it. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think
quote
we have some really
time,
good ones this week. So what is our closing quote? Yeah.
And sometimes life is just hard, and some days are just rough, and sometimes you just gotta cry before you can move forward, and all of that is okay.
And that was the
shed
quote,
a
guys.
tear
That was not
with
just Maggie saying it.
Yeah, shed a tear with dropping into happiness.
Right? Yeah. Drop those
joy
tears.
and sadness.
Just get it out of your body. All right, friends.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say it. So thanks for dropping by.
And have a magical day. Thanks, everyone. Bye.